Hey everybody, welcome back to the Halloween Hotel, where today we're going to go over some pictures of the cemetery fencing we had done. So we're not going to do any facades today, just some cemetery fencing. And what caused all this for me to build new fencing this year was these guys right here. These finials we got off of eBay, and because the finials are an odd size on the inside, it's only 3/4 of an inch, and most of the time most finials are going to be a 1 inch. Because of that, I ended up getting an entire box shipped to the house for $40, and I believe there was a little over 100 of them in there, so it worked out really, really well. The one problem I had with it was I had to figure out a way that I was going to get a piece of wood into the bottom of this and then get it into 3/4 inch PVC. I watched a couple videos and I seen Ram. If you watch Ram videos, he had I think he used like a bandsaw or a sander or something to get his to fit, and there was no way I was gonna do that. So what I did was I ended up just going to Home Depot, and I took this finial with me, and I walked around Depot until I found these little pieces of I guess lumber, I guess you would call it, because they're just special lumber. And this right here is 5/8. The size is 5/8, and they come bigger than this. I just showed you the sticker on this one, but they probably come, I want to say, maybe 36 inches at a pop, and it's like $2.50 a piece. So that works out really well. And those dowels, they fit perfectly inside the finials. And then what I do is I just make them long enough to where I have some sticking out. I put them inside the PVC, and it's a really snug fit inside the PVC. So the next thing I had to purchase was the boards, and these boards are just 1x4s, 8 foot long. And what I did was I measured every 6 inches, and if I measured every 6 inches, it gives me 15 equally spaced holes that I can put the PVC down into. And I drill the pilot holes first, because after I drill the pilot holes, I'm going to take this step bit that I'm going to show you here in a second. And this step bit does wonders. It's absolutely amazing. And I don't know how I did anything prior to using one of these. I've been using wood paddles, and those things are crap compared to this thing right here. So I'm glad I spent the $20 on this. It was well worth it. And after I do the pilot holes, all I do is I just go in there with that step bit, just hit them just like you see right there. I have two boards per fencing. We made 4 fences total and 2 different heights. And the heights that I had made was one was a little bigger. That's going to be the side pieces, and that was 50 inches for the long ones and 40 inches for the short ones. And I just alternated every single one. And then on the other smaller one, that's going to be the front of the cemetery, I made them 10 inches shorter, which was 40 inches and 30 inches from the smaller ones. As you can see on here, I pre-drilled some pilot holes so that when I went through, I just stick them in there and just go to town. If I don't put those pilot holes in there, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to crack this 1x4, and then it's just going to be a mess. So it's very important that you do the pilot holes. It's a little bit of extra work, but it definitely pays off in the long run. So make sure you put those pilot holes in there to ensure that you don't crack the wood. Once it's all done, it looks something like this. And at the bottom piece, this is the bigger pieces that we're going to have on the sides of the cemetery. And the bigger pieces, that's the 50 inch, and the shorter ones there are 40 inches. The placement of the wood is about 15 inches apart from the bottom, and then 15 inches apart between the first and second spots there. So this is what it looks like pre-painted, and they came out really good. But I had to do something to them to make them a little different. And what we ended up doing was my daughter and we took a heat gun, and then you just take a pair of pliers or whatever the case may be, whatever you want to do. Put a heat gun on there for about 30 to 45 seconds all around it. You just bend it to what you want, and then after you bend it, you put a spray bottle of cold water on it, and it just stays where it's at, and it speeds up that process, so you're just not holding it. So we ended up twisting all the big ones, the small ones, even in the middle. We ended up clamping it down, and just gunked it up a lot to make it look good. Here's what it looks like prior to painting. This is one of the long ones too. You can see they're crooked, and we have them twisted and all kinds of stuff going on there. This definitely makes it look a lot better, and once it's painted, it looks a lot better too. So I highly recommend anybody that does that to just gunk them up with a heat gun, and then hit them with black paint, which is what I did here. And then the top of the finials I hit with orange, and we're going to hit them with a little bit more orange later. So that's almost a finished product right there. We're going to put a little bit of orange left on it. But that's what they look like. And it was a pretty easy build, a little bit time consuming cutting all the PVC and whatnot. But it was actually inexpensive too. Altogether, less than $100 for all 4 pieces. So I hope you guys like what you see. I hope you guys stay tuned. We're going to be coming at you with a lot more videos. And like always, if you like what you see, just subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.